Hello everybody, in today's video I'll be doing a questions and answer video, and you guys can watch this solve of Tripoom's 3x7x7 at the same time. I'm not sure if I've used this puzzle before for a commentary. I don't think so, and if I have, it's been so long ago. I have lots of new subscribers, but this video is mainly to answer some of you guys' questions which you've asked me on Facebook anyways. So we'll just get right at it. I'm going to pick these at random. There's like 100 of them already, so I'm not going to get to all of them, and if I don't pronounce your name correctly, then I apologize for that. So I'm just looking at one here. Okay, so this person, I can't even pronounce the name because it's in a completely different language. But anyways, the question is, why, in your opinion, have you changed your cubing likings? I mean, a year ago or two, you loved twisty puzzles as a speed cuber, and now you like other kinds of puzzles like the wooden ones. Well, let's break this question down. Why have I changed my cubing likings? I haven't really changed my cubing likings. I've always been into cubing, speed cubing. Not so much speed cubing anymore, but I still do every day. I practice, but I don't get better for some reason. Crazy slow cuber. But anyways, but I have branched out into other type of puzzles like the wooden puzzles. And the reason I like those is because I really like the mechanics of these mechanical puzzles. Now that I've learned to design them, I understand what it takes to make high level puzzles. It's a long process, and also I like the way they look, and just they're interesting to me. It's hard to describe until you have one and you've tried it, and if you like it, then you understand what they're all about. So let's get into another one. Steve wants to know, do you watch hockey or any other sports, and if you do, which team is your favorite? Okay, so I'm not a huge sports person, but I won't complain if it's on. If I go to, a restaurant like it's a sports bar or something, they have it on. Of course, I'll watch the screen because it's there and you're just kind of drawn to it. I do respect the ability to play these sports, and when I might go to a friend's house and they have it on, and they'll have their favorite hockey team or the Canucks because we're from Vancouver or whatever, and they're playing, the rivals of Boston and stuff like that. If Boston makes a really good play and scores, I'll still really appreciate that because of how it went down, but as far as like rooting and, all that kind of stuff, I'm not really into it. I kind of honestly get a little bit annoyed of people who get really pissed off when their team loses. It's, what, everybody wins and loses, but I don't have a passion for it, so I don't really understand it, but I'm not against it at all. Matthew says, I think he's to Cube Dude. He wants to know, who are some of your biggest role models? That is a very hard question to answer. I had a lot when I was a kid. When I was into magic a lot, there was a lot of magicians that I really liked and looked up to, and then I went to guitar, and there was a lot of musicians I looked up to and stuff like that. To me, a role model is somebody you want to be like, and back when I was a kid, the role model, it was more like they were an influence to me. A role model is, to me, somebody who can model you into something, right? So right now I don't know. I'm an adult, and adults don't usually have these type of role models. You kind of grow out of that, but you see more inspiration in people. I would, yeah, you know what? That's a very good question. And maybe when I can figure out an answer for you, Matthew, I'll make a different video on that, because that's sort of a philosophy, it's a bit of a philosophy to sit there and discuss something like that. But good question. You really got me thinking on that one, but I don't have an answer. I'm sorry. Murillo wants to know, are you coming to Worlds 2015 in Brazil? I won't be, and the reason for this is because I'm not into competition enough to travel to a completely different, country, continent, whatever, for it. I don't want to be away from home for that long just for a competition. And then I hear people say, well, what about meeting people? Would you like to meet people? I would like to meet people. I would like to meet more fans of mine and stuff like that, but I'm not going to travel so far for it. Maybe one day, if I have the ability and I don't have any responsibilities, as much as I do in my life right now, that I can just leave and go and not be financially, not have so many finances and stuff like that, then maybe I could afford to travel more. But I have competitions in my local town, which is Vancouver, BC, Canada, And I actually have a competition in 2 days at Science World, and I will be seeing people there, and that kind of fulfills that for me to like meet people and new people and stuff like that. And for any of those people who are going to that competition, I will be there, and I will bring some of my custom puzzles, so you guys can see them as well as my speed cubes, stuff like that. And don't be shy. Come up and say hi, because I'm going to go around and I might make a video. But I say that every time and I never do, because I honestly get overwhelmed with what's going on. So anyways, I'll try to film some of that. So let's go down to some more ones here. Moyu or Shengshao, and why? I think both companies are very, very good. Obviously, they've both been, they've knocked off some stuff and stuff like that, but they make huge improvements in what they do, and it's really revolutionized a lot of things. So for Shengshao, a lot of people were using their cubes for speed, and now it's kind of taken over by Moyu. And Shengshao has also like really enhanced the puzzle building community as well, like the modding community. Most of my TriPoom puzzles are made from Shengshao, and they're awesome. The mechanisms are very, very good. These companies have really, taken off with making puzzles stable and things like that. And Moyu now obviously is dominating the speed cubing community as well. And I agree with that. I think they're a really good company, and they're obviously making more puzzles too that aren't speed cubing. So they're kind of an all-around company, very good company. So that was a good question. Let's see here. Wesley wants to know, what would you say is a good starter cuboid or shape-shifting cube for someone just getting into cubing? If you're just getting into cubing, I would say just stick with your 3x3 and 4x4. Learn those first, because all these shape-shifting puzzles are going to use all the algorithms. And if you don't know how to apply them to a regular cube, you're not going to figure out how to apply them to a shape-shifting cube or a cuboid or something like that. So I would say if you're not just getting into cubing, but you're getting into these other puzzles, if you want to get into cuboids, start with something small, like a 3x3x2 or 3x3x4, and then work your way into like things like a 4x4x6, 3x4x5. These are very, intermediate type of beginner and intermediate cuboids. As far as shape-shifting ones, if you want to start with that, start with 3x3 ones, like a ghost cube or an axis cube. I forget what it's called, but Moyu just came out with sort of like an off-tilt Fisher type of cube. That's a very good one as well. So let's go on to some more here. How much time do I have left? I have a bit of time left. What was it like beating your first PB? Wow. Okay, so I guess there's kind of, I don't know. I don't remember the very first time I broke my first PB, because the second time I solved the cube was the first time I probably broke my first PB, right? But I would have to say that the very first time I remember being excited about breaking a personal best was the very first time that I broke sub 20 average of 5. The very first time I got that, I remember me and Aaron were sitting in the living room, and I did it, and all of a sudden, bam, it came up, and I saw my average, and my cube went flying, and I was like, yeah, and I was pretty excited about it. And at that, I think that was the point right there where I decided, okay, I will admit that I like speed cubing. So that was kind of the story with that. And then Jono wants to know, can you please tell us a funny cubing story? I guess that was sort of a little bit of one right there, so kind of two birds with one stone there. Since you will be driving for a living, what type of radio will you be listening to? I don't even know how to answer that. I won't be listening to radio. That would be the answer. I listen to music that I pick from iTunes, not what corporations choose that I should be listening to. Do you cube in public? I don't really cube in public anymore. I used to, but I have a car now. So I used to cube in public when I used to take transit in the train and things like that, in the bus. But now I don't. I guess cubing at a competition would be cubing in public. So I'll be doing that in a couple of days. But as far as taking my cubes out to where I go, I don't do that. I don't take them to work. I don't take them out in public or anything like that. They're at home when I get home. I spend enough time at home that I'm able to solve them while I'm here. So I understand if some people are in school still or something like that, of course they would be cubing in public, because I'm out of school. I'm 33 years old, right? So I don't really have a need for it. But I used to all the time, because that's how I'd pass my time when I was on the bus. Anyways, guys, that's all the time I have for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.